This is Sunday Edition with Shaun Custis and Henry Winter, where we've been joined by David Bernstein, the former Man City and FA chairman, who is with us all the way till 11 o'clock. David's written a book which is called We Were Really There, The Rebirth of Man City, which is about his time as chairman between 1998 and 2003. There's been a few texts, one of them here, maybe this is from some member of your family, David. Thank you to David for all the fantastic work he did at City to effectively save the club in the late 90s. Without David, there would have been no Aguero. And that sort of charts us really from your time there through to the middle bit and to where we are now. It's been a steady progress, really, I suppose.
Well, it has. Yes, that must be my son who wrote that. Yeah, I think the reason I wrote the book really was to just get sort of out there that the work, the job that's been done by the present owners, by the Abu Dhabi owners, has been fantastic. And we'll come back to that in a moment, I think. But I think without the groundwork that we laid in that period, this wouldn't have happened. And history changed. I mean, the club was taken over by Thaksin Shinawatra subsequently, and then he sold it on to the present owners. And that was really fortuitous. I mean, they've put huge funds into the club, and they've created something. To say it's special, I think, is an underestimate. You know, it is a most incredible sporting institution that is now developed there.
It is, of course, but they do have hanging over them 115 charges against them from the Premier League, which may or may not lead to very, very serious consequences. Now, when you look at that, and you've had an administrative hat on with the FA and as chairman of City, what do you make of that?
Well, I can't make anything of the charges. I don't know what the charges are, and I certainly can't comment on those. I think my feeling is that, one, they need to get on with this. I think that there's that saying, justice delayed, justice denied, and 115 charges is pretty complicated. So, I wonder why they don't take a sort of, if you like, a specimen group of charges, perhaps the easiest ones or the strongest ones, of 6 or 10 or 12, and sort of get on with it. I mean, clearly it is vital that any club plays by the rules, and I have no idea whether City have or haven't. Or I think it would be tragic if the wonderful work that's been done by Pep Guardiola and that team and is in any way tarnished by this, and I hope it's not. But we'll have to see.
David, just in your time there, who's been your favourite player?
When I was actually at City myself.
Or either side.
I mean, going back into history, Colin Bell is certainly
Nijinsky.
Nijinsky. I thought he was a wonderful player. I think he was a little underrated in a way. He was a fabulous player. I wish he played for England more than he did do. I think, but presently, I think Kevin De Bruyne is sort of top world class, absolutely wonderful. I've got a lot of admiration for Phil Foden. I think Phil is the real deal. I hope he should be an absolute regular in the England side. I think that's for sure. And then you've got Haaland, who. Yeah. So it's a wonderful collection of players, and the genius of Pep Guardiola, which shared by Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, is that he's managed to sort of keep this going. It's so difficult to keep success going and develop the team and let players go and bring new players in. To do it for 1 to 2 years is hard. To do it for 5-10 years is incredibly difficult. So you've got to have huge admiration for Pep.
Are you surprised that there's not more sort of situations like Klopp? Not that Klopp's burnt out, but he has talked about, driving on 3 wheels, that there is an element of exhaustion. And do you worry about that from Pep's perspective? I
think from any manager's perspective, I think the pressure over a few matches, over one season, is huge. As the years go by, I think it's absolutely enormous. And you can see the intensity that Pep has for the game and for the team, and the sort of perfectionist that he is. So I think it's amazing how these top guys, particularly, cope with the pressure year after year.
What was Kevin Keegan like as a manager?
Kevin was Kevin.
Yes,
he did brilliantly for us at the beginning. His first season, where we brought him in as an impact sort of acquisition to try and get us back to the Premier League immediately, which he did, was terrific. We had a great season. He and I had a different approach to things, and in the end, it didn't work out terribly well. But
what do you mean you had a different approach?
Well, I was trying to build the club on solid foundations and do it responsibly and carefully, sort of year on year. Kevin liked a more direct approach. He wanted to get on with it. As he used to say, Chairman, he said, the problem with you is I like going through the front door, but you prefer going through the back door, which meant he didn't like subtlety in terms of negotiations. Get a check on the table and get the player in. It was very direct, but we knew what Kevin was about, and he did very, very well in his own way.
The pride of Man City fans is often that they see themselves as the Manchester club, the club of the city, whereas Man United is a global thing, and you all yearn actually deep down for the days when you were playing in League Two, as is now, and Main Road, and on Tuesday night under the lights, and you were losing 1-0 at home to Blackburn or something like that, and it was all great fun, and it's not the same now. I mean, do you have a bit of that nostalgia about you?
Yes, I do. Instead of losing to Blackburn, we were losing to Lincoln, to York City, and to Wycombe Wanderers.
Were you indeed?
At one time? Yep. When we were in the third level of the game, and yet it was terrific. Once we sort of began to get our act together, and we began to get a bit of momentum under Joe Royle, it was really exciting, and the club was very together. The fans were with us, and of course we managed to get up at the end of that season. But I do have a nostalgia for those days and for Main Road. I loved Main Road. A wet Wednesday evening at Main Road, nothing like it.
Nothing like it. It was great from a press point of view as well. We all used to gather in that bar in the middle.
Absolutely.
Players, manager,
Absolutely.
Chairman, press. That's when everybody loved each other.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.